Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name is Ardil, and today's video is another behind the sound episode on the Lamborghini Urus. Today's video, we're talking all about bass in the vehicle. We're talking about the actual subs that we're using, the advantage of using those, as well as building custom sub boxes and fitting them into the amazing Lamborghini Urus. But before we get on to today's video, make sure you guys at home have subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we've got a massive competition live on our channel at the moment. We're giving away a brand new PlayStation 5 as well as an Audison amplifier. All the details are in the description below. However, let's get on with today's video. So how are we actually making the custom sub boxes fit into the vehicle? I mean, the subs themselves, they're Hertz Mille Legend 10-inch sub. They are absolutely huge, but we need to make them fit into a relatively stealthy way. So what we're actually doing here, and you will see all of this, what looks kind of like gunk, basically is fiberglass and resin basically joined together. So what we do is apply lots of these areas of fiberglass and basically matting to allow us to basically take a mold of the factory panel. The reason why we need to take a mold of the factory panel is because it's very, very tight back here. To get our exact volume for the custom sub box is going to take a lot of maths to basically work that out. But this is obviously all factory panels behind here. It's all drying at the moment. So we apply all the resin and fiberglass and matting to allow us to take a mold of the factory panel. What this does, when this comes out, we'll be able to remove this completely, and then that will start the formation for the actual custom sub box itself. Then we know how far we need to build that out into the vehicle to house the Hertz Mille Legend sub, and then we'll be replicating that on the other side. The reason why we're starting on the right hand side is because it's a lot more difficult. The reason why it is more difficult is because of the lack of space. You've got a lot more electronics behind here, you've got a lot more factory things behind this panel, which this system will all be removable as well. So anyone wanting to work on the vehicle later on or need access to behind this rear quarter, they'll be able to remove the sub box with ease and also put it back with ease as well, with our full instruction manual after the install. In terms of this as well, this is far more difficult than the passenger side because there's a lot more excess space on the passenger side on this Lamborghini Urus, just because of the components that are behind there. But I'm sure it's going to sound absolutely amazing, and this custom sub box is well underway. So this is the raw look of what goes on behind the scenes. So this is the framework building the custom sub box that's actually going to sit on the passenger side, which is completely different to the driver's side, which we'll show you a bit later on. In terms of what's actually involved, we take a mold from the factory panel work. So this means that it's completely reversible, and the sub box can be unbolted and be bolted back into another car on a Lamborghini Urus later on. In terms of the actual system and framework, we're using kind of a mixture of different materials here to build an acoustic environment for the sub box, plus obviously strengthening that panel to give a massive increase in bass. In terms of what we've got here, and what we've actually got is the fiberglass resin and mold that's basically taking form and forming the foundation of the actual box itself. And there's different elements like MDF built into this as well. You'll see these little lug points here all the way across. This is to build the front and just lashing points. Basically, these will be removed when the fiberglass resin and mold has basically been taken off, to give a really nice even surface, to give us a flat panel, to create a beauty panel that will sit and cover all of this, so it looks absolutely incredible for our customer, but behind the scenes it's all really nice and solid. In terms of the actual sub box on the other side, what we've actually got is this sub box here, which looks slightly different because that's a little bit further along the line than we've got here. Reason why is because you'll see this matting and basically materials that have built around to make a really nice flat surface for the beauty panel to then sit over, which we'll show you later on after the install is all complete. But the mold on this side, obviously the sub box is a lot bigger than the passenger side. Reason is because of factory panel work, and behind the scenes, when you strip out that panel, you've got a lot more equipment on the driver's side than the passenger side. So we've got a lot more room. There's literally amazing amount of room behind here to add in a Hertz Mille Legend 10-inch sub. However, this side is a little bit more challenging. Same process though, we take that mold, we will apply the resin, and then once we've got that foundation, which is basically this panel here, as you can see, obviously contouring all around the factory panels, still allowing the factory panel work. So there's actually a hole just here, which means the sub box will actually bolt down onto a factory panel, so we're not making any holes on the vehicle, as well as the fact it's fully reversible as well, where we can remove all of this equipment and revert it back to stock. So in terms of the actual product that we're putting in to give a massive increase in bass is the Hertz Mille Legend 10-inch sub, an incredible bit of kit. I mean, you can see just by the size of it, I mean, look at the size of the magnet on this beast. It is absolutely incredible, and we're adding 2 of these into the Lamborghini Urus. They're going to be mounted in custom sub boxes on either side of the boot, symmetrically positioned across the vehicle, and they're absolutely going to rock. How is it actually going to be powered? These subs are going to be running off 2 Audison Voce Unos, providing a massive amount of power running to them to help them perform perfectly. I mean, in terms of these magnets, a neodymium magnet is basically what is built into this at the back. I mean, this is absolutely massive. However, neodymium magnets traditionally are actually quite small magnets. You don't need to necessarily have such a large magnet in comparison to, say, a ferrite magnet, but I mean, this is absolutely massive, and you can imagine how much of a punch this thing is going to give. The other really nice thing, and the reason why we're using Audison in the front end of the vehicle, Audison amplification, but Hertz subs, you might be thinking, is because of the massive SPL output that you can get from these subs. The main reason why we use the Hertz subs on this occasion is for what's called excursion of a cone. How much a cone can move backwards and forwards, producing a lot more sound output and a lot more movement of air, increasing that bass level in the vehicle. And that's predominantly down to not only the design of the sub, but also the boundary-free cone design that they've got actually on the actual Hertz Mille Legend subs, and I'm sure the system's going to be absolutely incredible. You saw earlier on in today's video the actual sub box behind the scenes in the cavity that it was actually molded into the factory panel, but still in a reversible way. But now the sub box is pretty much ready to go into the vehicle. I want to showcase exactly how we've done it, but also the reasons why we've done it as well. You'll see by here, so this is obviously where the sub is going to be fitting. So this is a Hertz Mille Legend 10-inch sub that's going to be sitting into this location here. The reason why you'll see it contour up like it has is not only to give the shape to the actual panel itself, because this is quite a large area here, give a little bit of shape to the panel, but also to actually allow for the Mille Legend 10-inch sub, because it's quite a deep sub because of the power output that it has and the quality of the actual component. But we didn't want to bring out the whole panel completely, because obviously we thought that might be a little bit overpowering. So we just blended it up, and when this is all trimmed, it's going to look absolutely spectacular. In terms of what we've got here, the sub will sit directly into here, as well as we've got a flat panel all the way across, but we've also taken into account obviously contours of the actual vehicle itself. So this will be sitting on the actual side of the panel, which will go right up to the boot, which will look seamless in the vehicle, which is really nice, and you'll see that in the final video. As well as you see this lip here, so that is actually how the factory panel on that side piece actually sits. It has like a little lip on this side, and what that actually means is this will sit into that same location, as well as the fact we're not taking up any boot room in terms of that floor, so that floor can come out and be interchanged, which you'll see again in the final video. In terms of the actual sub box, we've got different kind of materials being used to manufacture this. So we've got MDF, we've got body filler, we've also got fiberglass matting as well as fiberglass fleece here as well, building and structuring the formation of the actual sub box. But you might be thinking, well, how is this actually going to be going into the vehicle, and are we modifying the vehicle at all to put something like this into the vehicle? But no. So what you've actually got here is a factory bolt position on the other side. So this is the back of the sub box. The actual factory bolt position, which we're utilizing, will actually go directly into here, as well as we've got another fixing position as well in the vehicle. Again, factory locations. So the whole system is absolutely reversible, as well as the fact there's no damage done at all behind the scenes on the system. Hopefully you guys at home have enjoyed today's video. You've learned a little bit more about how we actually build custom sub boxes and how we're actually going to be adding them in to the Lamborghini Urus. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, share this video with friends and family, and also check out all the previous behind the sound episodes on the Lamborghini Urus. First video is linked up here. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you next time.